Naoto Watari is a high schooler whose life revolves around caring for his little sister Suzu following the death of their parents 2 years ago. Since then, they've moved from one relative's home to another, finally settling with their eccentric aunt Tamayo, a woman who rarely leaves her room, judges harshly, and owns a cat named Tsukikyo. Chapter 1 opens with a nostalgic scene. 10-year-old Naoto and a blonde girl share a wordless moment in a sunflower field. Years later, Naoto's high school life begins with classmates questioning why he isn't joining any clubs. He cites his responsibility to Suzu, though some joke creepily that he might be too close to her. Rumors Naoto shrugs off, used to people not understanding. His friend Tokui invites him to join an informal club, but Naoto again declines. Between his sister and maybe picking up a job, he is fully booked. Ishihara, the school's cool and kind waifu, appears and invites him to a committee meeting. He declines, but she sweetly offers to drop off the notes at his house. Their exchange feels like the kind of natural anime chemistry that sparks fan wars online. After dinner, Naoto's routine is interrupted by Tamayo, who insults him by comparing him to his dad and praises Suzu for taking after her mother. She hands him his allowance with birthday bonus and tells him to buy something nice for Suzu. Her snide laugh and cryptic comments about being the older brother make it clear she's got her own brand of passive-aggressive weirdness. Suzu asks Naoto to do her hair the next morning. He tells her she'll have to learn to manage things alone someday, but she's convinced he'll care for her forever, unless he dies like their parents. On the way to school, Naoto asks what she wants for her birthday. They agree to explore ideas after school, but Naoto gets a bad vibe and warns Suzu to go straight home later. At school, Naoto admires Ishihara but knows she's on another level. Tokui even shares a story about how she rejected the modeling gig because they didn't match her standards. Then Tokui mentions a new student, Satsuki Tachibana. The name sends chills down Naoto's spine. She's the girl from the sunflower field, the one who ruined his family's garden and disappeared 6 years ago. After school, Naoto is followed by Satsuki, who haunts him like a ghost. When he finally confronts her, he explodes, "What do you want, Garden Destroyer?" She confirms she remembers him and apologizes, not for the garden, but for stalking him all day. She says she has something important to tell him. He tells her off and runs, but she chases. Meanwhile, Suzu sees a family working in a garden and reminisces about the one they used to have. Naoto rushes in, grabs her and runs home, escaping the persistent Satsuki. Suzu, unfazed, tells him she wants a garden for her birthday. When Naoto says they don't have space, Tamayo offers the backyard but warns them it's an overgrown jungle. As they investigate the backyard, Satsuki appears again armed with a hoe, looking like a horror villain. Naoto moves to protect Suzu and asks Satsuki to back off. Instead, she lunges in and kisses Naoto. Suzu, Tamayo, and Ishihara witness the scene in horror. Naoto is so stunned, he blacks out and wakes up in bed. Tamayo warns him that turning her backyard into a dating hotspot will get him kicked out. Ishihara is wondering if she is Naoto's girlfriend after what she saw. Naoto apologizes for missing the committee meeting and says he won't make it to today's either. Ishihara doesn't mind admiring his devotion to Suzu. Satsuki interrupts without warning. She grabs Ishihara's chest to see what Naoto likes. Naoto grabs Ishihara and rushes to the roof for privacy, confronting Satsuki about her behavior. She's not sure which incident he's mad about, the kiss, the grab, or the garden destruction. She gives him the hoe from 6 years ago and shares a forgotten memory. They used to be close, but she destroyed the garden and vanished. Naoto asks why, but she dodges the answer and apologizes sincerely. Jokingly, she offers to repay him with her body, which sends Naoto into a panic. He scolds her, especially since the kiss upset Suzu, and demands an explanation. Satsuki, offended, says, "If you don't get why a girl kisses a guy, then it's hopeless," and leaves disappointed. Naoto feels like the villain, but really he's just lost in the chaos. Later he learns that Ishihara won't even look him in the eye, and he regrets the mess, especially since the chest grab wasn't even his fault. He then runs into Satsuki carrying Suzu, who has a scraped knee. Naoto overreacts, thinking she attacked Suzu, and threatens her with a hoe. Suzu clears it up, she just tripped. Suzu invites Satsuki to help with the garden, and on their way back, Satsuki says she'll be a big help, even though she's never gardened before. Oddly, she claims the yard used to be hers. Both siblings are confused. The next day, Ishihara invites Naoto to shop for committee supplies. Suzu is disappointed. She thought they'd garden together. Luckily, Satsuki offers to help Suzu so Naoto can go. At the mall, Ishihara asks if Naoto is dating Satsuki. He denies it and nearly confesses he likes Ishihara, but chickens out. When Suzu and Satsuki arrive, Suzu accuses Naoto of lying and assumes it's a date. Naoto comes her with a hoe in her favorite color. Satsuki watches quietly from a distance, then vanishes. Ishihara says goodbye and accidentally blurts out, "I love you." She panics, covers it with I love dogs that bite, and dips out. Back home, Satsuki is missing, but Naoto finds her in the backyard. She jokes about his date and says he owes her a proper outing. He realizes she really is helping with the garden. It's starting to look amazing. Then she tells him to change his dirty clothes. Naoto tries to stop her and trips, falling right on top of her. Kuta Mayo's entrance. Her verdict? "You're out." pack your stuff. Atsuki apologizes and offers to explain the situation to Aunt Tamayo, but Naoto shrugs like, nah, that'll just make things worse, and resigns himself to moving out again. Suzu arrives and Naoto suggests they go for a walk. She groans, saying that sounds exhausting, but agrees as long as he carries her. Naoto nods, then turns to Satsuki. We're heading out now. Since they're going the same way, Satsuki tags along, though really, it's just her excuse to get Naoto talking. She asks if they're seriously moving again. Naoto says, yup, I knew it'd happen eventually, just didn't think it'd be this soon. He is glad they lasted longer this time. Satsuki asks why they're living with Tamayo, and Naoto snaps, why do you care? But she gets serious, reminding him they're not strangers she knows about his parents. Naoto softens. He leaves Suzu asleep on a bench and tells Satsuki about his parents' marriage and how neither side of the family was cool with it. No one really talks to them. Tamayo? She was just the next person willing to host them. Satsuki isn't convinced, replying, Tamayo doesn't strike me as the type who hates company. She even gave you space for a garden. Satsuki gives Naoto a packet of seeds and tells him that if they get kicked out, he can move in with her. She lives alone anyway. Later, Naoto sits beside his little sister. She wakes up and asks if he fought with Tamayo again. She begs him, no matter what happens, not to leave her. Later, Tamayo walks out of the bath, realizes her glasses are missing, and somehow, the cat's wearing them. She chases it wearing just a towel, and being as blind as Velma from Scooby-Doo, slams into the door, towel down. Chaos unleashed, she bolts down the hallway but crashes into Naoto. Mortified, she flees back to the bathroom, yelling for him to just go. Naoto doesn't leave. He tells her he's thought it through. Letting them use the garden means she wasn't planning to kick them out. Gardening's a long game. Like Chinese onions? 1 year. Asparagus? 3 years. He's got the stats. Tamayo tells him to stop overthinking. So he drops the stats and just pleads, please don't make us leave. You're the only one who's treated us like we're normal. Tamayo finally comes out, fully dressed, puts on her glasses and asks, was that girl your girlfriend? Naoto clarifies, childhood friend, just helping with the garden. No time for romance, I gotta take care of Suzu. Tamayo agrees to let them stay but warns him to focus on the garden's papayas, not any girl's papayas. Suzu asks Tamayo to help with planting. Tamayo just groans, that sounds way too boring. Naoto says their dad told them she used to have a garden, and Tamayo, now radiating anime rage, growls, don't bring up my brother, he's gross. Next morning, Suzu tells Satsuki they're not getting kicked out, and once the veggies are ready, Tamayo will get a share. That's the deal. Naoto's confused why they're going to school with Satsuki. No one invited her. A few days later, they see tiny sprouts. Naoto tells his sister they're radishes, and in 20 days, they'll be harvest ready, according to Wikipedia. Then things get serious. Naoto finds Suzu's math test with a fat 3 out of 10. He's clearly worried. Suzu says the exam was brutal and her Ave Maria, give me aim, prayer totally flopped. She suggests Naoto become her tutor and reminds him that since they moved, he hasn't helped her study at all. Naoto agrees but warns her that she needs to be more independent, he won't always be there. But Suzu hits him with, nah bro, you're mine till I die. At school, Yukari asks him the same, help me study for exams, but as always he has to reject her. I'm kinda dumb, he says, I'll just mess you up. Yukari insists and makes him promise to think about it. And Naoto wonders if it's one of those study sessions where people do everything but study, but decides she's just being friendly. Just then Takui pops in, guess you shut me up, looks like things are happening with Yukari. Naoto replies that he's not worthy. He'd love to go, but Suzu would never let him. Classes end. Rain starts pouring. Of course, Naoto is the only Japanese guy who forgot his umbrella. Luckily, Satsuki appears with a spare and offers it. Naoto takes it, then asks why she didn't drop by that morning. She says she did, but saw he was having a moment with his sister and didn't want to intrude, though she did trail them at a respectful 5-meter distance. He gets home and realizes Suzu hasn't arrived, probably stuck in the rain. He heads to the closet to grab a jacket but finds another test. You'd think she bombed it again, right? And nope, she aced it with an A. Turns out she just wanted tutoring to spend more time together. Suzu arrives. Naoto hides the test and asks how school was and if the rain caused any trouble. She says she was fine, she had an umbrella, but since one of her classmates didn't, she walked him home to keep him dry. That news clearly bothers Naoto. He goes out for a walk feeling weird. Truth is, he's scared. Suzu is his whole world, and if she stops needing him, he's got nothing. On his walk, he bumps into Satsuki soaked, so maybe that extra umbrella was a lie. He realizes she lied to protect him, just like Suzu lies about being more grown up than she is, just to avoid hurting him. Satsuki notices he's quiet. Did you fight with Suzu? She asks. He gives her his jacket to warm up and walks her home. She lives in a rough-looking building just 3 minutes away, basically his neighbor. She tells him he can go, but he hesitates, so she pulls him inside. Naoto says he should head back. Suzu's alone, but Satsuki replies, she's old enough. You should think about your feelings sometimes. Naoto snaps, don't talk like you know me. You don't understand our relationship. He leaves. Satsuki curls up on the floor and whispers, "I do understand. I've been with you the last 6 years." Honestly, with how creepy her apartment looks, she might be a ghost. Naoto returns home and admits that Suzu is his excuse to avoid opening up to others. But maybe it's time to let her grow up. He shows Suzu the candy he brought her. She says she thought he left because he didn't want to be with her. Naoto says, "Not today, but maybe Sunday. I'm planning to study with a friend." He promises it'll be quick and he'll bring her something to calm her fury. Suzu starts crying and reminds him he said he'd help her study. Naoto pulls out the test. "Looks like you don't need help." Suzu crumples it and throws it. "That was pure luck. I'm a mess. That's why I need you." Suddenly, Naoto starts to hear fuzz and collapses. Because in anime logic, if a Japanese person gets wet, they catch the plague and faint immediately. Always bring an umbrella. It's practically a life-saving device. The next day, Naoto stays in bed with a nasty cold. Suzu, ready to skip school and nurse him back to health, insists on staying. But Naoto reminds her she's already in 4th grade and should be able to walk to school by herself. He's finally nudging her to grow up a little. That afternoon, he wakes up only to find Satsuki lying right in front of him, totally chill. He asks what she's doing there and how she even got in. She says she snuck through the backyard. And speaking of backyards, she brought medicine. A very direct kind. Suppositories, extra strength. "My mom said these were top-tier cold meds," she explains. "That was 6 years ago." Naoto's shook, she remembered. He asks why she's not in school. Satsuki casually replies, "Morning classes only. It's past noon. I'm free now." Suddenly the doorbell rings. Naoto thinks it's Amazon. He tells Satsuki to bounce while he checks the door. Surprise, it's his crush, here to make him homemade soup so he can get better. Unfortunately, she catches him, sick, unshowered, and with another girl in his room. This is peak anime awkwardness. He lets her in, and she asks to use the kitchen to make her legendary healing soup. Naoto heads back to his room, only to discover Satsuki is still there. This time, she's ready to leave because she knows the boobs girl just arrived. She's clearly jealous, but before she goes, she jokingly offers to stay and see if he can handle both girls at once. At that exact moment, the soup arrives. With cat-like reflexes, Naoto dives into cover-up mode and shoves Satsuki under the blanket.